Going to school for the first time can be a bit frightening to youngsters and their parents, and that's why the New Bedford Public Schools offers a program to prep youngsters for kindergarten. That's basically what this is all about. It's called Smooth Sailing into Kindergarten, and it's happening at the Buttonwood Park Zoo on August 2nd. Now, here to talk about this is Paula Montgomery of the Buttonwood Park Zoo, Arthur Mata of the New Bedford Public Schools, and Titus Dos Ramitos of Early Education for All. Did I get that right?
Sure. I go by many different names, but yeah, Strategies for Children is the organization.
All right.
And,
well, let's.
anyway.
I broke my own rule there. We're going to have Paula start. All right, Paula, let's talk about the zoo and the setting for this. This is the third year, I guess?
It is the third year that the zoo has hosted the Smooth Sailing into Kindergarten event.
All right. And what are we going to see? If you're a parent of a youngster, you're kind of wary about, geez, what the zoo's going to do here. What's happening at the zoo that has to do with kindergarten? Tell us set the scene for us.
Well, I think we're just the perfect partner for New Bedford Public Schools and the Birth to Third initiative because of the fact that, first of all, we are a city asset, so therefore we're a great partner with the schools no matter what. But then also what we found in the last 3 years partnering with this event is that a lot of the families that are coming in into kindergarten for the first time, some of them don't even know that there's a zoo, which is an incredible asset to learning, to being out in nature, to everything that is good for kids in terms of their formative years. So we just feel proud to be able to be partnering with them to offer them the space that they need to meet these kids, but to also put it in an environment that is very friendly to the kids and the families while they collect some information during some of those scarier initial days that you referenced.
That's right. It can be a little scary for youngsters and certainly for parents who are sending their kids off for the first time. So Arthur Mata is with us from the public schools. Arthur, what's the event all about? What's going to happen there?
Well, hi, Jim. Thanks for having me. It's a like Paula said, it's a great introduction for kids who might find it a little scary, and also for parents. But it's two, of the city's departments, the zoo and the public schools, essentially. Using all of their educational assets to have this great introduction. And it's really a festival-like atmosphere. I was there last year, and there are, tents set up from all the various elementary schools. The kids, the new kids and their families can meet their teachers and principals. There's giveaways, special there are special, contests and photographs, and of course, the zoo itself is an enormous attraction for kids to have this very first impression of their school days coming up. And we're very close now. I mean, we're exactly 1 month away from the first day of school, which is August 30th.
Lots of kids might be unhappy to hear that, but maybe parents are cheering that. So let's talk with Titus. Titus Dos Remedios is a fellow who works for a statewide organization, and which is very concerned about early education for all.
Sure.
Talk to us about your organization, Titus.
Sure. So in my day job, I work at this nonprofit organization that focuses on expanding access for all Massachusetts children to high-quality early education opportunities. That includes preschool, high-quality childcare, kindergarten, smooth kindergarten transitions. So when we learned about all the exciting work that was happening in New Bedford, this is about 4 years ago now, I personally, because I live in Fairhaven, I wanted to make a personal connection to the work that was happening in New Bedford, see what I could do to help out. And there are dozens of community partners throughout the city and beyond New Bedford's borders that want to pitch in and want to lend a hand. It's a very welcoming community, friendly community, and this event is sort of the epitome of that. We've got 20 plus community agencies chipping in. Obviously, the zoo and the public schools are the main attraction here, but we also have Coastline Elderly Foster Grandparent Program that are helping out this day. and their foster grandparents are helping children do a story walk where they can, I think the book is called Look Out Kindergarten, Here I Come. So, it's this book about the first day of school, but it's done in a way that's interactive. The foster grandparents can walk children and families through that story and interact with them and do a little learning activity while they're at the zoo. That's just one example of the things that Arthur and Paula have talked about, and it's a great event. It's the third year we've had it, and I'm very proud of what the partners have accomplished.
I know we hear a lot about early education.
Sure.
I know we hear a lot about how important it is. Tell us, from your point of view, why is it important, and why is it important in a community like New Bedford?
So, imagine you're building a house, right? You want to get the foundation in place. You want that foundation to be strong, structurally sound, and then you build the house from there. So that's what neuroscience and brain research has actually told us about human development and child development. You really need to have that strong foundation in place in the early childhood years. Now, some children's first educational experience is going to kindergarten on that first day when they're 5 or 6 years old. But we know that most children are also in a child care program. Several of the New Bedford child care independent programs such as Little People's College, North Star, the YMCA, Pace Head Start, they're all part of this collaboration. We call it the Birth to Third Partnership. And that reflects this philosophy in early childhood that you start at birth, you go all the way to kindergarten and beyond into the early elementary grades to make that foundation as strong as possible. That will give children the best, start in their educational trajectories. And so anything that partnerships can do like this one to kind of knit that together, help families, become aware of the programs and services and things in the community are a good thing.
Arthur Matos, do we know how many youngsters have registered for kindergarten?
I don't have a tally today, but we can find that out. We're still receiving registrations from all over the city. As Paula said, a lot of these young families don't even know the zoo exists, and they may not even know how to get there. So one of our partners, CERTA, the Southeastern Regional Transit Authority, is providing, courtesy of CERTA, a free bus pass for anyone in the city that's pre-registered. We'll actually send them a bus so they can come from their neighborhood to the zoo. And once they're at the zoo, they have a table there, CERTA does, and they can give them a return pass to get back to their home or neighborhood. So we're trying to remove every obstacle for these young families and kindergartners to come to the zoo to see what not only the zoo offers, but what their public school experience has as Titus says, how it starts off on the right foot and a good foundation. And we're still accepting registrations. We've got a week before the welcoming event, and right now the Family Welcome Center at the New Bedford Public Schools Administration Building on County Street is where you would go for the 2018-2019 school year. For any New Bedford residents, kindergartners born between September 1, 2012 and August 31st, 2013, they would be in the class of 2018-2019 this fall. And so we urge you to call or come by the Welcome Center during regular hours. You need an official birth certificate, a parent photo ID, 2 proofs of residency. You got to show that your child is has up-to-date immunization. Also that you have proof of lead screening and results, a current physical examination, of course that you have guardian or parent, your custody papers, and anything else you have on the child's record of, say, any other preschools or anything else the child, and then you're good to go. And we hope you show up for the fun activities on August 2nd.
You're listening to Townsquare Sunday. Joining me today are Titus DeRemedios of Early Education for All, Arthur Matos of the New Bedford Public Schools, and Paula Montgomery of the Buttonwood Park Zoo. There was a time, many years ago, I would guess, but when I was growing up, and that was many years ago, that kindergarten wasn't considered that important. And in some districts, it wasn't even offered. In my Dartmouth district, it wasn't offered. And I went to school in first grade. Thinking has changed a lot since then. Titus,
Sure.
Why is kindergarten important?
Well, it goes back to that foundation that I talked about.
Sure.
You know, anyone with young children, grandchildren, friends of theirs who have young children can attest firsthand that when you are interacting with a child who's 18 months, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, the brain growth is just off the charts. I mean, they're learning new words at a very rapid rate. And they are taking in the world and trying to make sense of it, and with the help of adults in their life, such as preschool teachers, parents, siblings even, they are really, starting to grow and develop and learn. And we didn't know that much about that process 20 years ago. I went to half-day kindergarten myself in Rhode Island, and most today in Massachusetts, 96 or 7% of all children are in a full-day program. But now we have to go back and think about preschool, right? So in New Bedford alone, we know that roughly a quarter of the children who go to kindergarten have had no formal early childhood programming, so they haven't been to preschool. And that's what makes kindergarten really important, right? Because if you're receiving children from different backgrounds, different experiences...
Which is all about what New Bedford is.
Yeah, right. They're in one class, and right, you've got that kindergarten teacher who better be a superstar at making sure that they can meet everyone in that classroom's needs. So kindergarten, very important. It sets children up for success in those future grades, and yeah, it's not much of a different way I can say it than that.
Arthur, you've mentioned earlier in an earlier response about the Welcome Center, which I think is a great name, first of all, for an office that registers youngsters. But more than that, the Welcome Center is really the first contact that parents have with the education system. The Welcome Center obviously greets folks and signs people up, but it obviously makes some assessment, right, about
yes, it does.
About where kids need some help and where to go from here.
Right, you are, Jim. When a parent or guardian calls for an appointment and they need an appointment to come to the Welcome Center for registration, they should plan for about an hour assessment session, and that includes a kindergarten screening, a language assessment, and of course there's registration paperwork to fill out, and and a nurse review. A nurse, is there and reviews the child's health records. Everything has to be according to state regs, and the welcome specialists there are fluent in Spanish, Portuguese, and of course English. So and where they do a lot of this assessment work is in a couple of large classrooms in the first floor of the building, and they look very much like playrooms. I mean, they're full of all kinds of not only assessment toys, but all kinds of toys, and they look not unlike a preschool environment. I've watched the welcoming space. It's very, they get right down with the kids, and it's very, let's just say it's low impact. Everyone's so literally welcoming. So, but we get everything in order there, and from there, like for instance, with this special welcoming event at the zoo, they get what they need, including the tickets, the passes, and they're informed about what the giveaways are and the time they can come in. For instance, with this, even though families are welcome to stay at the zoo all day that day, they have to be there to come in with the New Bedford Public Schools table between 10 a.m. and noon. And also, if they need a return ticket from CERTA to get back on a bus from the zoo, say, to their neighborhoods, they need to get that from the CERTA table before noon. But then again, families are welcome, though, in any case, to stay all day, and it's a great day. I mean, we want to talk about this because we talked about some kind of highbrow education stuff. This is a fun day.
Oh,
it
totally
really is.
This is a fun day, and that again, it's the Kindergarten Day of Celebration at the Buttonwood Park Zoo. Smooth Sailing into Kindergarten is the name that it's been given. It's Thursday, August 2nd, 10 a.m. to 12. As you heard Arthur say, Youngsters and their families can stay at the zoo all day, but the event is specifically 10 to 12 at the Buttonwood Park Zoo. Admission is free. You can, for registered kindergartners and their families, and bring your admittance postcard. Obviously, it's been mailed out. You'll meet the principal of your child's school, perhaps your teacher, arts and crafts, snacks, reading activities, special guests, and it's happening August 2nd. Do we have a rain date?
I don't.
Will they move it inside?
I think it's rain or shine, right? Paul?
It is rain or shine, and for lots of reasons. Both, Arthur, Titus, as well as the entire group that's been putting this on, works with so many different community partners, and including us at the zoo. So we do go rain or shine. As Arthur indicated, we do have tents for all of the schools that are represented there. So we'll make it as comfortable as possible. But we are banking on another wonderfully beautiful sunny day that we've had for the last couple of years. So I've already put my request in for that.
That's great. Last year's event drew 237 kindergartners and their families. More than 800 people showed up, including partners and all of that. The year before, just about the same, maybe a little less. But the fact is, big crowds for this. We want, I think we want to see every kindergartner there.
That's right.
Because obviously we want a fun start to their public school experience.
Jim, if I can add,
sure.
What's great about this year, so last year, right before this event, we had opened Rainforest Rivers and Reefs. This year, we just opened Charlie's Nature Play, which is the perfect setting for the kids this age. So we couldn't be more thrilled with hosting this event just as we have opened Charlie's Nature Play, and to give the kids of this age the opportunity to get in there, to use their problem-solving skills, their collaborative skills. That's what Charlie's Nature Play is all about. It's getting kids back out into nature, connecting them with nature, with wildlife, and just giving them an opportunity to do unstructured play. So this is a perfect time of year, and we may have to just keep opening something every year right before smooth sailing into kindergarten.
And Paula,
bad idea.
Yeah, that's Paula. I want to know about your new resident, the sloth.
Yes, Bernardo is a favorite.
Bernardo the sloth.
He is a favorite.
No sloth. At the classroom, but in the zoo, that's
right.
That's fine.
That's right.
That's fine. Arthur, Titus, and Paula, thank you all for coming in. Good luck with the Smooth Sailing into Kindergarten event on August 2nd. Sounds like fun. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim.
Thanks.
All right.